Hello everybody, welcome to the course on two-phase flow and flow boiling in microchannels, and I, Professor Gargi Das from the Department of Chemical Engineering of IIT Kharagpur will be instructing you in this particular course, and two of my research students Mr. Ritik Maiti and Mr. Alex Koshi will be assisting me in the modus operandi. Now, the first thing which I should be doing is to motivate you to take up this course, or rather to tell you what should you expect from this particular course. And to a newcomer, a more basic question is, what is multiphase flow, or where do we encounter multiphase flow? Now, in this regard, I would like to say that multiphase flow is widely encountered in a large number of applications in nature as well as in everyday life, and we also find multiphase flows in several practical applications. For example, in petroleum industries, in food industries, in pollution, in process plants, and so on and so forth. Now, the regime of multiphase flow has been widened up with the current trend of miniaturization, because there have been several applications of multiphase flow in miniaturized heat exchangers and microchip cooling on one hand, and pharmaceutical reactors, bioreactors, etc. on the other hand. And while the paradigm of multiphase flow has been enlarged with the advent, or rather with the upcoming current trend of miniaturization, we find that the physics of flow is quite different in micro as compared to macro systems. And so, therefore, in this particular course, what we would expect is that we would be expecting, firstly, we are going to introduce multiphase flow, and we are going to discuss the macro versus the micro content. Then we would also be discussing the experimental investigation or the experimental techniques which are in wide use in microsystems, and the influence of operating parameters on the flow distribution, as well as in the last week we will be discussing some amount of modeling, flow pattern based modeling and flow boiling in microchannels. Now, this is going to be a 10-hour long course comprising or extending over 20 modules, and in this particular 20 modules, more or less each module will be half an hour each, and after each week you will be given some assignments to practice, and at the end, just to test how well the knowledge has been disseminated, we will be taking up an evaluation system. And the intended audience who should be interested in this course are the undergraduate and the postgraduate students of chemical, mechanical, biochemical, biotechnological engineering. And since it is just fluid flow, so naturally the prerequisite is a basic knowledge of fluid mechanics, and along with that, if you have a preliminary knowledge of multiphase flow, that is also desirable. Now, regarding the textbooks, there are not many. We will be referring to a few papers which I will also be mentioning in the course of my lecture. So, with these few words, I welcome you to the journey through your adiabatic two-phase flow and flow boiling in microchannels, and I sincerely wish we have a happy journey together. Thank you very much.